But first, what's the scoops?
All right, sis, what's the scoops? How was your Saturday?
It was harrowing. That's the best way that I can explain. I went to help my brother because the car stalled on the H-3 in a place where the shoulder lane is so slim. It's so thin, right? And I went to go help him. We called AAA. We were waiting for the AAA tow truck driver, and the cars were just blasting past us. This is about 7:15 at night on the H-3 Kaneohe, right? Just blasting past us, right? So I call back AAA agent. I'm telling them, you guys, I'm so scared because the people are just like whipping past us, and the shoulder lane is very, very narrow.
I think we have some B-roll of that, the traffic blasting past you guys.
Yes, so the tow truck driver calls and he says, don't worry, I'm just gonna come, I'm gonna hook up the truck, I'm gonna hook up the car and I'm just gonna get going. And you would not believe, look, brother, look, you see people, they're in the right lane, and he's right there, and he wasn't not taking his time. And he had that car hooked up in like 2, maybe 3 minutes, but 2 minutes closer to that.
That is scary, sis. Nighttime too.
It was crazy. These people, I thought there was a law. Is there a law or something like that?
There is a law, and I'm glad, well, you didn't mute the sound, but I could imagine like the things that you wanted to say.
I was so worried for him. His name is Adam, and I was really, really worried for him. I didn't know what to do, because if I opened my door to try and help him,
you don't know what, your door might be flying down the road.
Exactly.
Well, you did mention about the law, and it is a law. It's called the Move Over Law, and that went into effect in 2012, and it requires drivers to move to the adjacent lane if an emergency vehicle is stopped and the emergency lights are flashing, which is what happened this weekend, right, with you.
Okay, well, how does the law define emergency vehicle? I'm wondering if it's only for HPD and fire, because he has a tow truck, and his tow truck is massive. You can see the lights.
Yeah.
His lights are flashing, and yet people still stayed in the right lane.
Well, it is police, fire, EMS, ocean safety.
Oh, okay.
Freeway service patrol, the tow trucks that go up and down the freeway, they are included in emergency vehicles and tow trucks as well, sis. So all of these people that were blasting past you guys were actually breaking the law. They were actually supposed to move over one lane.
And they had the room. You could see. They had the room, they had the time to switch over. I had my hazards on, our stalled car in front of us had the hazards on. His truck had, it's just so dangerous.
Well, and the scary part about that particular site is there was an accident that happened in that the close proximity to that site.
And
right?
I know the Ohana.
Yeah.
I know the Ohana. A young 20-year-old woman, she's 22 years old, Tay, passed away because she was waiting for a tow as well. And she ended up getting struck by a truck and lost her life. So I really was afraid. I was afraid for Adam. But he did such an incredible job. He got our car home safely. I'm glad that everybody was safe more than anything. But really, I cannot imagine you being in such a rush that you would put yourself in a place where you would hurt somebody else who was trying to respond in an emergency way.
Yeah,
right?
well, again, we just wanted to get the word out and remind everyone about that move over law. It's been in effect since 2012. And by the way, if you cannot move over one lane, drivers are required to slow down to a reasonable speed, which in some cases in that video that you shot was not the case.
That makes sense. But again, everybody is safe. Everybody made it home safe. But please, 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 please be mindful of one another and have aloha when you drive.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Hopefully you and brother have a better Saturday this coming Saturday. And if you want more information about Hawaii's Move Over Law, we can bring on the What's the Scoops graphic here. You can go to kitv.com/links. We do have a link. So Jay, if you can bring that What's the Scoops graphic, the next one up next. And we do have a link once again at kitv.com/links. So you can get more information there.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.